Hi, I'm Dr. James Whitmore, and if you're over 50 and feeling tired, disconnected, or low on drive, you're not alone. But there's a natural way to fix it. They told you the drop was inevitable, that after 50 your strength would fade, your fire would dim, and your desire for life, for connection, would slowly vanish in the night. But what if that wasn't true? What if the body didn't betray you, but simply asked you to listen more closely? What if one small change made right before bed could help you restore the hormone that drives vitality itself? This video is for the man who wakes up more tired than when he went to sleep, for the woman whose partner has slowly drifted into silence, for anyone over 50 who's quietly asking, "Where did my energy go?" This is not about chasing youth. This is about reclaiming power naturally. And it begins while you sleep. You see, testosterone is not just a hormone, it's a signal. A signal of energy, of confidence, of connection. In men, it drives. Libido builds, muscle sharpens memory, and fuels morning vitality. In women, it contributes to strength, mood, and metabolic health. But for both, the signal weakens with age, not because you're broken, but because modern life, with its sugar stress and sleep deprivation, drowns it out. You feel it in the silence between you and your partner, in the clothes that no longer fit quite right, in the strange fog that lingers in your mind after 8 hours of sleep. You've started to wonder, is this just age, or is something off? The truth is, yes, testosterone drops naturally with age, roughly 1% to 2% per year after 30. But what most people don't know is how much control you still have. Because this hormone doesn't only follow age, it follows behavior. And it listens especially to what you eat and when you sleep. Here's something nobody tells you. Testosterone rises while you sleep. Your body begins production as soon as you drift into deep, slow-wave sleep. It peaks during your first REM cycle, often between 2 and 4 a.m., and helps shape your energy for the entire day to come. But here's the catch. If your sleep is fragmented, if you wake up repeatedly, if you eat the wrong food before bed, you don't just miss sleep. You miss the hormonal surge that defines your vitality. According to endocrinologists, a full 3 hours of uninterrupted sleep is required just to initiate the testosterone production process. And the fuel, it's not just rest, it's what's in your bloodstream when you close your eyes. Let's pause here for a truth bomb. A single night of poor sleep can drop your testosterone by 10 to 15%. Sleep deprivation raises cortisol, the stress hormone that blocks testosterone. So instead of building, your body enters survival mode. And if you had a sugary dessert or a high-fat late-night snack like pizza steak or fried food, you've just sabotaged the most powerful testosterone-building window of your entire day. But don't worry, there's a way out. Imagine this: you finish dinner by 7 p.m., take a short walk, avoid screens, and then 60 minutes before bed, you eat a tiny, precise snack. Not just any snack. One proven to deliver the micronutrients your body needs to build testosterone while you sleep. A hard-boiled egg, a handful of pumpkin seeds, a small glass of unsweetened tart cherry juice. Nothing flashy, nothing heavy. Just a strategic, time-sensitive dose of magnesium, zinc, vitamin D, and melatonin. Science calls this a dual-objective snack, designed to do two things. First, to promote deeper, more restful sleep. Second, to provide the building blocks for testosterone synthesis, right when your body needs them most. This is not about calories. It's about signaling. Because hormones are listeners, and when you feed your body the right message at the right time, it responds. Even at 55, even at 70. So if you've been tired, foggy, or disconnected, if you've lost drive, strength, or intimacy, The answer may not be another supplement. It might just be in your evening ritual. Because while the world sleeps, your body writes tomorrow's story one hormone at a time. Let it be a story of clarity, of strength, of connection rediscovered. You felt it, the quiet shift. Maybe it happened slowly, maybe all at once. You used to rise in the morning with clarity, a sense of steadiness, strength in your stride. But now waking up feels like wading through fog. Your body feels heavier, your energy flickers, and something hard to name feels missing. And deep down you wonder, is this just what aging feels like? Here's the truth, it's not just getting older. It's your body speaking a language of imbalance, and you can learn to listen. Testosterone doesn't disappear, it responds. It responds to sleep, to food, to stress. And it operates through a system, the hypothalamo-pituitary-gonadal axis, or HPG axis. This is your internal hormone highway. And at night, while you sleep, this system kicks into motion. Your brain releases a pulse of luteinizing hormone, which travels through your blood to your testes. Their tiny cells, called Leydig cells, are told, begin. They make testosterone if the conditions are right. But if your sleep is shallow, if you're under stress, if your body is inflamed, the signal gets garbled. The message doesn't reach the cells. And what happens next? Testosterone production drops. Quietly, slowly, systematically. Now let's layer in the most overlooked factor of all sleep architecture. As you age, the deep restorative phases of sleep, like slow wave and REM, start to shrink. These are the exact moments when testosterone is made. Even if you're in bed for 8 hours, if your deep sleep is fragmented or brief, your hormone production is blunted. Studies show that testosterone production requires at least 3 hours of uninterrupted sleep. Not just sleep, deep sleep. And without it, your body can't complete the hormone synthesis process. Add in stress, which raises cortisol, and now you've got testosterone being blocked on 2 fronts. Less creation, more suppression. A hormonal double hit. And cortisol, the stress hormone, is more than a chemical. It's a message to your body: survive now. Build later. When cortisol is high, testosterone shuts down. That's not weakness. That's biology. It's your body choosing survival over growth. But the danger, when this becomes the norm, your body stops building permanently. Let's pause here and anchor in science. This isn't hype or hearsay, it's evidence. Multiple peer-reviewed studies show that men who consistently sleep less than 5 hours per night experience a 10–15% drop in testosterone. Men with chronic stress patterns see measurable reductions in both free and total testosterone. And research out of the Journal of Clinical Endocrinology confirms the act of sleeping, not the time of day, is the direct trigger for testosterone release. This means your bedtime habits shape your hormonal destiny. There's more. Nutrients like zinc, magnesium, and vitamin D have a measurable impact on testosterone metabolism, especially when consumed during the hours leading up to sleep. Zinc acts as a cofactor in the enzyme that builds testosterone. Magnesium helps unbind testosterone from proteins, so it becomes active in your bloodstream. And vitamin D, which functions more like a hormone than a vitamin, is deeply involved in regulating testosterone production within the testes. Even a trace mineral like boron has shown promising results. In a 2015 study, just 6 milligrams of boron per day increased free testosterone by nearly 25% while reducing estradiol, a form of estrogen, by half. It also enhanced vitamin D's effect and reduced markers of inflammation. That's not a miracle. That's metabolic synergy. But here's the trap to avoid. You can't out-supplement a broken lifestyle. You can't flood your body with nutrients while ignoring sleep. That's like pouring water into a bucket full of holes. The supplements won't stick, the food won't register, and the hormone cascade will remain blocked. That's why we focus on timing, on rhythm, on sending the right message at the right time in the right environment. Imagine this. You've just finished dinner light, simple, satisfying. You've avoided sugar, you've kept fat intake modest. 2 hours later, your room is dim, no screens, no distractions, just calm. And then 60 minutes before bed, you eat a small, strategic snack. 1 hard-boiled egg. For vitamin D, selenium, and dietary cholesterol, your testosterone's building blocks. A handful of pumpkin seeds. For magnesium, zinc, and tryptophan, the trifecta of testosterone and sleep. A small glass of tart cherry juice, rich in natural melatonin to enhance REM sleep and fight inflammation. Or a ripe kiwi, packed with serotonin, which converts to melatonin, calming your mind and preparing your body for deep rest. It's not a meal, it's not a treat, it's a signal. You're telling your body it's safe now. You can build, you can recover. And in response, your body does exactly that. This is not theory. This is biochemistry in motion. So no, you don't need testosterone injections to feel alive again. You don't need extreme diets or dangerous stimulants. You need rhythm. You need sleep. You need micronutrients at the exact moment your body is ready to use them. Because hormones are not magic, they're mirrors. They reflect the choices you make, especially the quiet ones no one sees. And when those choices align, your body remembers. It rebuilds, and it begins again. There's a quiet power in the evening, a stillness that doesn't just belong to rest, but to restoration. You may not feel it yet, but your body is always listening. And when you feed it the right message before bed, something extraordinary happens. Hormones respond, sleep deepens, and testosterone, your core energy signal, begins to rise. So tonight, let's talk about food. Not in terms of calories or dieting, but as hormonal communication. Because what you eat, especially in the 60 to 90 minutes before sleep, can either suppress your testosterone or silently support its natural surge. Let's start with one of the simplest, yet most powerful foods on Earth: pumpkin seeds. These small seeds are packed with zinc and magnesium, 2 of the most essential minerals for testosterone production. Zinc helps activate the enzymes that create testosterone, while magnesium enhances its bioavailability, freeing it from protein-binding molecules, so it can actually be used by your body. But that's not all. Pumpkin seeds are also rich in tryptophan, the amino acid that supports melatonin and serotonin production. This means they don't just feed your hormones, they help you fall asleep faster and sleep more deeply. Next, we move to a humble powerhouse, the hard-boiled egg. Simple, ancient, effective. The egg yolk provides dietary cholesterol, which is the literal building block for steroid hormones like testosterone. It also delivers selenium, a mineral that protects your Leydig cells, the very cells in your testes that create testosterone. Even the egg white plays a role. One study found that egg white protein might reduce the negative hormonal impact of dietary fat-making eggs, one of the most balanced and strategic night foods available. Just 1 egg, eaten slowly, no additives, no distractions. Then there's a liquid most people overlook: unsweetened tart cherry juice. This isn't just fruit juice. Tart cherries contain natural melatonin, the sleep-regulating hormone your brain needs to signal deep rest. Several studies have shown that people who drink tart cherry juice before bed experience longer and more efficient sleep cycles, especially in the crucial REM stages when testosterone production peaks. It's also high in antioxidants, helping lower inflammation and cortisol, the 2 enemies of optimal hormone health. Our fourth food is one you might not expect: kiwi. Yes, kiwi. This fuzzy green fruit is packed with serotonin, a calming neurotransmitter that also converts into melatonin. In a small clinical trial, adults who ate kiwi before bed reported faster sleep onset and deeper, more restorative sleep. That's because kiwi isn't just a vitamin bomb, it's a natural sleep facilitator. And deeper sleep means stronger testosterone signaling. The beauty of these foods is not just in their nutrition, but in their synergy. Together they create a subtle but powerful hormonal environment. No spikes, no crashes, just smooth, quiet support. So how do you begin? Here's a 4-night rotation plan. On night 1, try a hard-boiled egg and a small glass of tart cherry juice. On night 2, have a handful of pumpkin seeds and a ripe kiwi. On night 3, switch to a small serving of almonds and a calming herbal tea, both rich in magnesium and naturally soothing. On night 4, go back to the egg and kiwi combo for balance. Each of these combinations is small, deliberate, and designed to avoid the things that suppress testosterone, excess fat, sugar, and heavy digestion. You're not eating to fill your stomach, you're eating to nourish your hormone cycle. Think of it as micro-dosing restoration. You're giving your body just enough to shift gears, just enough to rebuild, just enough to remember its rhythm. And the results, they don't explode overnight, but they compound. One night of deep sleep becomes 2. You wake up with a little more clarity. Your morning feels a little lighter. You start to remember what feeling normal used to mean. This is how testosterone returns. Not through force, through rhythm. So tonight, instead of scrolling through your phone, instead of reaching for wine or dessert, create a moment in your kitchen, in stillness. A quiet snack that speaks louder than any supplement. A ritual of self-respect. A message to your body that says, I'm ready to rebuild. This isn't about one superfood. It's not about fixing everything in a day. It's about rhythm, small acts done consistently that send your body a new signal it's time to heal. Because your body is not just a machine, it's a memory system. It remembers late nights, skipped meals, long stress. But it also remembers care, consistency, safety, and it responds to both. So let's make it simple. Start your morning with light and protein. Open the blinds. Let the sun hit your face. Light tells your brain it's time to regulate cortisol, which sets the hormonal tone for the next 24 hours. Then eat something with protein, eggs, Greek yogurt, or a plant-based shake. This gives your body the amino acids it needs to make dopamine, which supports testosterone and motivation. Midday, prioritize human connection. Testosterone is not just physical, it's emotional. Studies show that loneliness and disconnection are associated with lower testosterone in both men and women. Even a short walk with a friend or a phone call with someone who sees you raises your oxytocin levels, helping to lower stress and restore hormonal resilience. And at night, this is where the transformation truly begins. Create a ritual. Turn off screens 60 minutes before bed. Lower the lights. Brew a calming tea like chamomile or rooibos. Journal. Breathe slowly. Then just before sleep, have your small, strategic snack. The egg, the seeds, the kiwi. Whatever your body enjoys most. This isn't indulgence. This is targeted nourishment. And it works. You don't need a perfect life to rebalance your hormones. You just need a pattern that tells your body it's safe to restore. And after 7 nights of this rhythm, something starts to shift. You wake with a little more focus. Your mood feels more stable. Your drive, once a flicker, starts to return. It doesn't feel like magic. It feels like coming home to yourself. And here's the truth. No one tells you testosterone is not just a number on a lab test. It's your fire, It's the pulse behind your decisions, your energy, your intimacy, your will to engage with life. And when that fire fades, so does your sense of self. But now, you know how to relight it. You've spent decades giving to others. You've shown up, worked hard, carried burdens without complaint. And in all that giving, maybe you forgot yourself. Maybe your vitality became background noise, but it was never lost. Only waiting for the quiet moment you chose to listen. The night you said, "I'm ready." And now, you are. So take the first step tonight. Don't aim for perfection. Aim for rhythm. Aim for one choice, a small one that brings you back into balance. Because your body is not your enemy. It's your ally. It just needed you to remember. Comment below if this helped you. And don't miss our next video right here on Senior Health Secrets. And one last thing before you go, our next episode is titled, How to Increase Testosterone Naturally with Just One Morning Habit. If this message resonated with you, you won't want to miss it, because your best years aren't behind you. They're one aligned evening away.